Well, you know what they say. Good things come in threes. That's right, everybody. We are back at it again with quite possibly the final part of our Piggy Clones and Where They Are Now series. Now, this has been an absolutely insane ride, and I'll talk about it more later. So today, I scraped the very bottom of the barrel for at least half of these clones, and I can't wait to show you guys what I found. So without further ado, let's go! Okay, so the first one I want to talk about is actually a pretty well-known one, and it is called Sketchy. Now, the original Sketchy game was actually made as a joke by MiniToon for Sketch's birthday. So it was kind of like an official Piggy game, but eventually he took it down because, you know, it's not as high quality as a lot of the other Piggy stuff, so he probably just didn't want it associated with the brand. And he probably also wanted it to be kind of a limited time sort of thing. But people have, of course, remade this game, as it was pretty popular. People really liked it. The one I'm playing in the background is by The Real Rendemi, and basically it goes like this. It's kind of a more brain-rotted, silly version of your base Piggy game. The first map is literally just house, except more orange because it's Sketch, and the cutscene's a little off and goofy and stuff. That's literally it. So, because of that, it's not bad, but it just doesn't really do anything super innovative, mainly because it was made as a joke. So, Sketchy, you will live in our hearts and minds forever. On to the next one. Now we have Gorilla. Now, I didn't play too much of this game. I definitely remember playing it at some point when it first came out because I was seeing other YouTubers playing it. And low-key, this is actually a pretty fun one. It's just super silly. You basically play as a gorilla and you, like, beat people up as a gorilla while they try and escape. It's really more along the lines of something like Banana Eats, though, where you're basically just trying to wait out a timer. But hey, I still genuinely had a fun time with it, and just the gorilla himself just looks so freaking goofy. I can't get over this guy. And it's actually still pretty popular to this day. It has around 50 players right now, but considering how I haven't heard anything about this game since it came out, that's pretty good. Good for you, Gorilla. I'm proud of you. On to the next one. Next up, we have Pooh. Now, it's not like Pooh as in poop, it's like Winnie the Pooh. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys actually remember this game. I certainly do, because I played this on release. This is considered to be one of the newer Piggy clones, as it didn't come out too long ago. It's like just over 2 years old at this point, so it's pretty young in the eyes of Piggy clones. And this one's actually pretty dang good, if I do say so myself. It's honestly a lot more realistically scary than a lot of these other clones. And really even more so than Piggy itself. It's trying to be super edgy and gritty. And honestly, it somewhat succeeds. Pooh himself looks pretty creepy. His voice lines are kind of unsettling, and the actual gameplay and functionality of everything is really strong for some reason. This game is pretty much abandoned at this point, I think, because it got updated about a year ago, and it hasn't been updated since. I think this game also has 2 chapters, if I'm not mistaken, so pretty good stuff, Pooh. Except I feel like this one was kind of overhyped. Like, the devs were really excited about this game. I mean, it got a whole U2s and everything. And it was also kind of banking off the memes that came from Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. The very highly rated. So yeah, definitely check out Pooh if you want something genuinely kind of creepy. Oh boy, I knew it was eventually going to come to this. The 2 most profitable things on my channel, the Amazing Digital Circus and Piggy, combined to make the game Digital Circus Alpha. And somehow, it's actually not all that awful. I know, I'm just as shocked as you are. So basically, in this game, you're playing as Pomni from the Amazing Digital Circus, trying to escape Jax from the Amazing Digital Circus, but they're all in piggy dresses, and that's literally it. Now the gameplay is actually pretty decent for the most part. It's not anything crazy, but it does function pretty well, I do have to say. And, like, the physics on Pomni's hat looks weirdly good. I noticed that in my playthrough. I don't know why I noticed it, and I don't know why it is that good, but oh well. It's not even remotely scary, though, as I was expecting. And it does kind of have the same jump scares as Puppet, so, gotta dock a bunch of points for that. Overall, though, it's not too bad. If you like the Amazing Digital Circus and Piggy, I can see how you would like this. You guys know I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel when I put Muppet in this video. Muppet is literally just Puppet, but with the Muppets instead of Sesame Street characters, and it's exactly as bad as you would imagine. This game literally has nothing going for it. It looks awful, it plays pretty bad. Like, just the models, they're so, I guess, just uninspired. Like, they're not horrendous, they're just so eh. I only chose to play the first chapter because I don't think I could sit through 2 chapters of this. So maybe chapter 2 is a masterpiece and I'm just judging a book too quickly. But yeah, no, this is just pretty bad if I'm being completely honest. And next up, we have Scarecrow. Now, this one was played by some fairly big YouTubers back in the day, but I have not seen a single soul talk about this thing since it came out. It's actually not that bad, though. Once again, this is kind of similar to Banana Eats, where you're just trying to run the timer down with puzzles, and you're just trying to survive instead of really escape. Except I just don't think this is done nearly as well. It's fine, though. It's perfectly passable. So next up, we have Snaky. Now, this one I got recommended a couple times in the last video, and for good reason. This one's actually really good, in my opinion. It has a really goofy, cartoony style, and it's similar to Spider, where your face is the snake. I don't really think it's done as well as Spider, but it's still pretty darn good. Like I said before, the art style is really nice. It's super goofy, which is kind of what I like in a lot of these Piggy clones. And it genuinely plays really, really well. Like, I think better than Spider. The only thing is, I was about to escape, and the hitbox on the snake was kind of ridiculous. So, a couple points taken away from that.
Why are we still here?
Why did you guys recommend this one to me? What were you guys doing that day? Next up, we have the Barbs. Now, this is just Puppet, but with Barbies. And it sucks. It sucks so bad. This really isn't even like a Piggy clone. This is literally just a straight up Puppet clone. It plays the exact same as Puppet, so it pretty much plays terribly. And the skins all look so weird. Like, what did they do to my boy Ken, bro? I actually played the first 2 maps for this one, and I was not impressed by either one. This one is just pretty bad. Yet somehow, this one consistently has like 10 or so players, so I don't know which ones of you guys are playing the Barbs on a regular basis, but okay. Alright, now we have another one that was actually fairly popular back in the day. And this would be Alien. Now, this was played by all the big YouTubers when it came out, and it's fine. It functions decently well, especially for being probably one of the older ones on this list. I mean, this came out back in June of 2020, jeez. And it hasn't been updated since August of 2020, so that kind of says a lot. So this one's just pretty outdated in its functionality, and the cutscenes are not very good, but gameplay-wise, it's not awful. It's fairly decent on most levels, and I actually really like the goofy design of the alien. He's really blocky, and I think that that's really funny looking. This one has since died, though. There's literally nobody playing it, so sorry, Alien, you were kind of cool while it lasted. Yahoo! So next up, we have Little Ones. Now, this was probably the most requested one on the last video, besides a certain other one that we'll get to. And I'm happy to report this one lived up to your guys' hype. Basically, this is Spider and Centipede and Snaky, except it's just a bunch of little tiny people. And I mean, the deaths are still pretty creepy and gruesome. I mean, they're stabbing you with thumbtacks, man. Those things hurt. Basically, it's kind of similar to the story of a lot of those games where a player gets taken, and then a wacky science experiment happens, and now there's a bunch of little ones of them running around, and they're trying to kill you. So this game was actually really hard, in my opinion. Like, I could not figure out what to do with, like, half of the stuff, and I couldn't find where the green key card went. I was so mad. So next up, we have Philippe, Philippe. So basically, this one was based on Philippe, like the little flamingo head thingy, like the one that Flamingo beat up that one time. Now, I don't know the actual lore of this game, because I played as Philippe in this gameplay, but it was honestly pretty cool, and it seems genuinely decently high quality for some reason. And playing as Philippe was actually pretty smooth for the most part, so yeah, props to one of the absolute oldest Piggy Clones that actually came out even before Piggy did. So I guess it's not really a clone now that I think about it. Oh well, it's in the video. And our final clone in this video is the long-awaited, absolutely beloved Banana Eats. Now, this is the one I was talking about before, where I got probably at least 100 or so comments asking, where's Banana Eats? Where's Banana Eats? Probably like 300 comments if you include the first video too, because you guys have been asking for this one for so long. And the reason I didn't really do anything with it before this, because, I mean, this is one of the biggest clones, is because I really don't consider this one to be a true Piggy clone. It's such a different game, in my opinion. Similar to some of the ones that we saw earlier, in this one, you're not really escaping, you're more so just waiting out a timer and then escaping once the timer runs out. And you also don't really use keys or anything, you really just use, like, puzzles and stuff to escape. But this game is just so fantastic. I think every single one of the maps is genuinely great. It's also very well balanced. And overall, it is just an absolute blast. That is genuinely one of my favorite Roblox games ever. Meaning that this genuinely might be my favorite Piggy clone of all time. Man, that's kind of it. Piggy clones were a huge era of Roblox back in the day, as I've stated in all the previous videos on this topic. And like those other videos, I'm so glad I got to go down memory lane and even discover some of these. I mean, do you think I'd played the Barbs or Muppet or Snaky or Digital Circus before this? But still, I always love coming back to this topic, mainly because, well, you guys love it, but also because it's genuinely nostalgic for me. I was about 10 years old when the whole Piggy clone craze started, and so I have so many amazing memories of that era. And I think it's one that should be celebrated, because while it's not exactly the most creative era Roblox has had, it's my personal favorite of all time. So with that said, I think that's actually going to wrap it up for this video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you know when I post more awesome videos like this. I have absolutely loved making this series. It has been so amazing. This has literally been one of my favorite video series to make ever, and I'm so glad you guys absolutely loved it. And so for the final time of this series, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!